5 lessons I've learned from this Ochanya's case, and I believe it's going to help each and every one of us, especially as parents or as humans who have people and children living around us or living with us. But first, let's watch this video.
When I was 5 years old, I went to my mother's sister's house to school because there was no school in my village. So when I went there, when I was 8, the son started sleeping with me. Then when the sister caught him, the sister then reported him to the father. Then the father scolded at him, and that was when the father started.
Okay, I know I am not a Nigerian, and this was Ochanya situation. Some people might be saying, Raisa, you're not a Nigerian. Why are you talking about this and all of that? Good and fine. I'm a Cameroonian. I'm based in Cameroon. But I'm going to talk about this situation, this Ochanya situation. Why? Because first, I'm a parent. And secondly, this is a global topic. It's something that affects everybody. That it could be me, it could be you, God forbid, it could be anybody. So geographical location does not really matter in situations like this. One thing I'm really very happy and excited about is the fact that we have this level of growing awareness that is attributed to things like this. There's a high growing level of awareness that's both online and offline, whereby people are trying to create awareness on the fact that issues like this, like RAPE on children, on minors, are not to be tolerated in any way or form. People are rising up every day to talk against things like this. People are waking up every day and trying to modify how they can educate their children, their kids, on issues like this. I am a mom, and I'm a mom to not just the one that I birth, or the children that I'm going to birth, or the children that I birth, but also to children around me. I am a mother to other children around me. So watching this Ochanya situation really touched me, sincerely. It touched me, and I'm like, why would somebody really sit and do something like this? Why would a human being sit and do something as evil and devilish and painful like this, inflicting such level of pain on a child that was kept in your care? Anyways, guys, I don't want this intro to be too long. My name is Raisa. I am a Cameroonian content creator, and if you're coming across my channel for the very first time, you're welcome. Make sure to join our family by subscribing to our channel, like my videos, share my videos, watch my old videos or my previous videos, and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Even in this video, under this video, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Okay, guys, so when I first heard about this case of Ochanya, I just like passed through it. But when I kept on watching, or I kept on seeing posts about it, and the next thing I started seeing justice for Ochanya, I said, okay, this should be something that I have to look into. Maybe there's something I might learn from it. And then I started researching more about this her situation, or this her case. And if you do not know about this case, then let me just give this background so that you get to understand the situation or the case better. So Ochanya was sent to her auntie's place, her auntie's house in the city, from the village by her parents, because there were no primary school educational facilities in the village where she resided. So they had to send her to her auntie's place, who is in the city, and they knew that this woman and her family are Christians. So they had confidence in them to actually guide and live with this child. And from what her sister said, from what Ochanya's sister said, from one of the interviews that I watched, she said they took care of Ochanya's bills. I said they took care of everything, her feeding, her clothing, and her school, which means the only thing that auntie and the family provided for Ochanya was shelter, and that was it. So from the interview that you've watched, from what she said at the intro of this video, she said her auntie's son was the first person that started violating her. And when his sister caught him, she reported him to the parents, and that was when the father joined what the son was doing, and both of them collabo, and they were doing this to this child. What form of inhumane, what, why do pedophiles even exist, for God's sake? What level of pain is this? So which means this child has been going through this situation from when she was 8 years old to when she was 13 years old. She fell sick. She was always sick. They took the case to court after she revealed what had been going on with her. They took the case to court because she was sick. She was sick, and the sickness was not something that was light. It was something that she spent months in the hospital. So with all this sickness, her sister said she was like trying to insist in asking her what happened, what was going on, what was happening, because she said Ochanya became quiet, she became cold, of which this is a child that is very outspoken. If you watch her interview very well, you understand that yes, she's a very outspoken girl, and she was really well spoken. To be honest, she was well spoken. She seemed like a bold child. But her sister said when they brought her back to the village, she was very quiet and cold, which means there was something wrong, and with the constant sickness. So the long and short of this story is they took the case to court after Ochanya explained everything that had been happening to her. They took the case to court, and the uncle was acquitted. The reason for letting him go was because they said there was no concrete or evidence against the man, because the girl is no longer alive. Apparently, the girl could not make it. So she wasn't there to defend herself in court. So they had to acquit this man. But then where there was a controversy is Ochanya's aunt, who is actually the wife to this man that was being acquitted, was actually detained. She was arrested and she was locked up. They said she was being locked up for negligence. So the controversy here now is the fact that why would they acquit the person, the perpetrator of the act, and then they are actually locking up his wife for negligence? How does that add up? It doesn't add up. I don't get it. And then their son, who was actually the person that started this, is on the move. So why are people like this? Why is every African government system like this? And then the case was just closed like that, and after 7 years, her elder brother, that's Ochanya's elder brother, brought up the case again, and that's why we are having the case now everywhere. Justice for Ochanya, justice for Ochanya. So why am I bringing this up? I am not here to elaborate on the entire Ochanya situation or Ochanya story. You can go online on YouTube and watch more videos about the situation if you want to know about it. But this video particularly is for the 5 lessons that I have picked out from this situation, because there must be something that we have to learn from this. So the very first lesson I would say I picked out from this Ochanya situation is the fact that even family members can be dangerous to your children. So you have to be very careful. We all have to be very careful about how we let families into the lives of our children, or how we let them alone with our children. Ochanya's case is very, very painful because this abuse did not actually come from strangers or from outsiders. It came out from a family member. It came out from people that her parents actually entrusted her lives to them, actually entrusted her to them. It didn't come from outsiders or people that her parents did not know or did not trust. And these are people that her parents actually knew that, okay, these are Christians. So I'm sure their minds didn't go into something like that, you get. So please, the one thing I would say is, let's stop assuming that every family member is harmless, because most of the abuse that children go through usually come from family members that parents or these children actually trust a lot. The second lesson is, make your children comfortable enough to talk to you about anything and everything as parents, because Ochanya actually carried pain. This thing that she was going through, she carried it for years, and she went through physical pain, emotional pain. In fact, every form of pain that you can think of, this girl carried it for years, for so many years, before she could even speak about it. She was even sick. She had always been sick, spending months in the hospital. But despite all this sickness and this pain and this torture, she could not speak. She could not open up. Please, let's make ourselves open and let's make our children comfortable enough to tell us anything, whatsoever thing. You see, many children do not open up to their parents, or they do not talk about the things that are happening to them because they are afraid. Either they are afraid, or they are scared of being beaten, or they are scared of being blamed, or maybe they are scared of, I don't know, so many other things, so many things that these children might be scared of because the parents have not made them comfortable enough to discuss certain things, to discuss things like this with them. We as parents, I will not say especially mothers, but I will just say parents, both mothers and fathers, let's make these children comfortable enough to know that they can tell us anything and we want to judge them. We will listen to them. We want to judge them, and we are going to take up what they have said or they have told us seriously. The next lesson I would say is, let us as parents start teaching our children sex education early. There are different stages of teaching children sex education depending on their age. Like my son, he's just 1, but I make sure that I teach him. I tell him that, okay, this is your penis, this is your anus, this is your mouth, because even the mouth is part of the things that these adults, they use in suppressing these children, in doing, especially these pedophiles. The mouth is something that they use. You teach these children that, okay, nothing else enters your mouth apart from food and water. Apart from food and water, nothing else should enter your mouth. If anybody tells you that, put this thing in my mouth, put this part of my body in your mouth, do not do it. Do not do it. Teach these children the various parts of their bodies. Sex education starts as early. Do not wait for these children to grow up before you start teaching them sex education. Start as early as when they can understand. Teach them the right words to these parts of their bodies. Stop telling them this is pee-pee, this is poo-poo. No. Tell them this is your penis, this is your anus. Nothing goes in your anus. You use your anus to poo. Your penis, you do not insert your penis into anything. You use your penis to pee. If it's a girl, this is your vagina. Nothing should go into your vagina. If anybody puts anything inside, tell me. Make your children to understand these various parts of their bodies. These are the reasons we have sex education now. These are the reasons we are parents. Look, I always say that we can fail in every other part of our lives. Nobody will blame us. You can fail in your marriage, or you can fail in your career, or you can fail in whatsoever part of your life. But there are 2 things that you do not have a choice in. You see, Christianity, God. You don't have to fail in that part. You see, a parent, as a parent, you do not have to fail. In fact, you don't even have the right to fail as a parent. As you are teaching them these, their private parts, also let them know that nobody is permitted to touch their private parts. The next lesson I will say is, do not ignore the signs. Obviously, there are always signs to these things. Right? You should know your child now. You should know your children. There are always signs to these things. Once a child starts being violated in this state, or in this way, there are signs. That child can never be the same again. What? That child can never be the same again. Do you know the pains that child will be going through? That baby will never be the same again. There was a case here in Cameroon that I watched online where a child was being violated. A little child in primary school was being violated like this by her uncle. And it's her teachers in school who even discovered it, because she was bleeding. There are signs. They said she was always sleeping, she was always sad, she was always down. There are signs. This Ochanya, she became quiet and cold, as her sister said, and these are the reasons why she started interrogating the child. There are signs. Those signs will always be there. The sickness that she was always sick, those signs will always be there. Once you discover that your child has become cold and quiet, or has withdrawn, start asking questions. Start doing your investigations. Start checking up. Check everything. Or as a parent, you have the right. Nobody will judge you. Check everything. As long as it concerns your child's life and dignity. Check everybody. Everybody is a suspect. Check everybody. Make sure that you dig to the end. Why is my child like this? What is going on? Because you might discover something that you wouldn't have even imagined. Now, the fifth lesson I would say I've gotten from this Ochanya situation is that you have to protect yourself before you go into justice. Protect yourself and protect that child. We know that in Africa, the justice system is not, it's always like this, like a snake in the forest. Yes, it's difficult for the justice system to always be straight like this. And another thing is you have to always protect the evidences. Now, what do I mean by you have to protect the evidences? Once you discover that a child is being violated like this, if it's an early something, if it's something that has just recently occurred, do not bathe that child. Yes, do not bathe that child. Take that child immediately to the hospital so that samples of semen and whatsoever could be gotten from this child before you can now bathe the child and then now start admitting treatment on this child. Because if you bathe the child, you have deleted the evidence that you would have used against the perpetrators. You have wiped away the evidence. You have washed away the evidence. So do not wash the evidence. Do not bathe that child. Take that child like that straight to the hospital, and then they extract everything that they have to do. They start treating the child. Then you can now go to the police station. Because in this Ochanya situation, because she actually passed before her case could get to a certain level. So there was no physical evidence, even though I heard they did an autopsy, but they had two controversial autopsy, and that was one of the reasons why the judge had to let go of the uncle that was doing this to her. So just imagine if they actually had evidence that they had, like the man's semen gotten from the child's body, the man wouldn't have had any other thing to say. In fact, he would have just been thrown into jail, and he wouldn't have had a defense. Sincerely, he would not have had a defense for himself at all. So I would say if there's a situation like this, it must not be only your own child. It could be anybody. It could be someone around you. So all these evidences like this, if the child cannot speak, the evidence can speak for themselves. These evidences can speak for themselves. Parents, please, we can do better. We can do better. I actually love the fact that there's a wide range of awareness going on both online and offline, a wide range of awareness that parents are coming up to eradicate situations like this. I'm really happy. Anyways, guys, with that said, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching my video to this point. Do not forget to like my video, share my videos, and of course leave your thoughts in the comment section. And with that said, we've come to the end of the video. See you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Dada, go and take wrapper. Go and take wrapper. Let me papa you. Hey, leave, where Dada? Leave the laptop for me now. The uncle's wife. Oh God, no, I miss. You guys, please just concentrate on me and forget about that man behind.